Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a fantastic classic tale for you. A story that's been passed down through generations, teaching us a valuable lesson about cleverness, honesty, and the dangers of greed. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's dive into the enchanting world of the demon in the glass bottle. Once upon a time, nestled on the edge of a vast ancient forest, lived a poor but honest woodcutter. Every single day, from the moment the sun peeked over the horizon until it dipped below the trees, he would journey deep into the woods, his trusty axe slung over his shoulder. He worked tirelessly, felling trees and chopping wood, all to provide for his family. It was a hard life, but a simple and contented one. He didn't have much, but he had his strength and his integrity. One afternoon, while working in a part of the forest he'd never explored before, something unusual happened. He swung his axe with a mighty heave, aiming for the base of a thick old oak. But instead of the familiar thud of steel biting into wood, his axe hit the ground with a sharp, metallic asterisk, clank asterisk. The force of the blow sent a jolt all the way up his arms. What in the world was that? He muttered to himself, his curiosity piqued. He knelt down, brushing away the leaves and loose soil where his axe had struck. There, half buried in the damp earth, was a small, peculiar-looking glass bottle. It was sealed tight with a lead stopper, and it felt strangely heavy in his hands. As he held it up to the light, inspecting its murky contents, he heard a faint, muffled voice coming from within. It was a desperate, tiny sound, almost like the buzzing of a trapped insect. He pressed the bottle to his ear. "Let me out! Let me out!" The voice cried a little clearer now. The woodcutter, startled, nearly dropped the bottle. He looked around, thinking someone was playing a trick on him. But the forest was silent, save for the rustling of leaves and the distant call of a bird. He looked back at the bottle. "Who are you?" he called out, his voice trembling slightly. "And how did you get trapped inside such a small bottle?" The voice from within grew louder, filled with a strange, persuasive energy. "I am a great and powerful spirit," it declared. "An ancient curse bound me to this glass prison many, many years ago. Oh, kind sir, if you have a heart, please free me. Break the seal. I swear on all the stars in the sky, if you release me from this wretched confinement, I shall reward you with riches beyond your wildest dreams. Gold, jewels, anything your heart desires." The woodcutter's heart began to pound. Riches, gold, and jewels. He thought of his modest home, his simple meals, and the constant struggle to make ends meet. A reward like that could change his family's life forever. No more backbreaking work, no more worrying about the future. The temptation was immense, a glittering promise dangling right in front of him. After a moment's hesitation, driven by the hope of a better life, he made his decision. With his strong fingers, he gripped the lead stopper and pulled with all his might. With a loud asterisk pop asterisk, the seal broke. Instantly, a thick, swirling column of black smoke erupted from the mouth of the tiny bottle. It spiraled upwards, twisting and expanding, reaching towards the canopy of the trees. The woodcutter stumbled back in shock and awe as the smoke coalesced, shifting and taking shape. Before his very eyes, it formed into a colossal, terrifying demon. It was twice as tall as the tallest oak tree, with eyes like burning coals and a cruel, sneering mouth. The demon stretched its enormous limbs, cracking its knuckles like thunder. A deep, booming laugh echoed through the forest, startling birds from their nests. Ha ha ha, free. I am finally free after all these centuries. It roared, its voice shaking the very ground beneath the woodcutter's feet. The demon then fixed its fiery gaze on the small man cowering below, and now it snarled, "As a thank you for your service, I shall grant you a swift end. You will be the first I destroy." The woodcutter trembled from head to toe. This was not the reward he was promised. "Wait, stop," he cried out, his voice a mere squeak compared to the demon's roar. "You can't do this. You gave me your word. You promised to reward me for setting you free." The demon let out another cruel laugh. "A promise," it sneered, leaning down so its hot, foul breath washed over the woodcutter. "I lied. Promises mean nothing to a being like me. You foolish mortals are all the same, driven by greed. You freed me not out of kindness, but for the hope of treasure. Your greed is your downfall." Panic seized the woodcutter, but amidst the terror, a spark of his natural cleverness ignited. He knew he couldn't fight this creature, and he couldn't outrun it. His only hope was to outwit it. Taking a deep breath to steady his voice, he put on a look of calm disbelief. "I see," he said, trying to sound unimpressed. "But I have to be honest. I don't actually believe you were ever inside that bottle." The demon paused, its brow furrowing in confusion. "What did you say?" it growled. The woodcutter shrugged, gesturing towards the tiny glass container on the ground. "It's just, you're so enormous, so vast, and that bottle is so ridiculously small. It's simply impossible. I think you're just a spirit that was wandering the forest and are trying to scare me. There is no way you could fit inside that." He folded his arms, as if challenging the demon's power. The demon's pride was wounded. Its eyes blazed with fury at being doubted. "Impossible," it bellowed, its voice making the trees tremble. "You dare question my power, you insignificant speck. Of course I was in there. I am a spirit of immense power. I can change my form to be as large as a mountain or as small as a grain of sand. I will prove it to you." And with that, the enraged demon began to dissolve. Its massive form swirled and shrank, transforming back into the thick column of black smoke. The woodcutter watched, his heart hammering against his ribs. As the smoke funneled itself with a great whooshing sound, pouring back into the tiny opening of the glass bottle, he held his breath, waiting. The very last wisp of smoke squeezed its way inside. The moment it disappeared, the woodcutter lunged forward. With lightning speed, he snatched the lead stopper and jammed it back into the bottle, pushing it in as tightly as he could. It was sealed. Immediately, the muffled screaming began again, but this time it was filled with fury and desperation. "You tricked me. Let me out. Let me out this instant." The demon shrieked from its prison. "I'll give you everything I promised. Mountains of gold, rivers of diamonds. Just let me out." But the woodcutter was no longer listening to the empty promises. He held the bottle firmly, his fear replaced by a quiet resolve. "Stay in there, you wicked, deceitful creature," he said calmly. "You'll never trick an honest person again." He knew that a promise from such a being was worthless. Ignoring the demon's continuous screams and pleas, the woodcutter walked further into the forest until he found a deep, dark cave. He went inside, found the deepest crevice, and buried the bottle under a heavy pile of rocks, ensuring it would remain hidden and undisturbed for all time. He then picked up his axe and walked out of the forest, the setting sun casting a warm, golden glow on his path. From that day forward, the woodcutter continued his humble life, working hard and earning his living honestly. He never became fabulously wealthy, but he lived a long, peaceful, and happy life, content with what he had. And his story serves as a timeless reminder. True wealth is unfound in gold or jewels offered by deceitful demons. It's found in integrity, courage, and the cleverness to see through false promises. A sharp mind and a good heart are worth more than all the treasures in the world. Thanks so much for listening to this wonderful tale with me today. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories. Let me know in the comments what lesson you took away from this. Until next time, take care and stay curious.